Recently I made this chopper e-bike from scrap metal and recycled parts. Now I need to paint it. While I take it apart, I will show you everything I made and customized to create this e-bike. I hope this will give you new ideas and inspire you to create a cool chopper of your own. Let's check out my custom-made seat. Now I wanted a big seat because this bike was designed for cruising, so I made this extra padded wide seat. And because this frame does not have a rear suspension, I had to create some sort of a suspension for the seat. For that I used some springs and customized a solution to attach all of that to the frame. Having a suspension under the seat is super important on a frame like this. This seat originally came from an old exercise bike like this. Basically it was just a shaped metal plate with a little bit of padding. To make it softer I added some additional padding and covered that with fake leather that I got from an old couch. For mounting, this plate has only 3 M8 bolts sticking out. So to attach the seat and springs to the frame, I had to create a separate bracket with a hinge. I used some square tubing and some M8 bolts for that. Many of those holes are meant for weight reduction, which is super important when building an electric vehicle. Later I noticed that M6 would have been a better choice for attaching those springs. More on that later. And this here is just a piece of durable HDPE plastic from a jug. I use it to stop the hinge from squeaking and rubbing metal against metal. Now the low seating position is what I wanted designing this frame. Also that low seating position happens to be the main reason why a cruiser frame is usually longer than a regular bike, because you need to stretch your legs somewhere. And that looks nice, but it's a challenge if you have 26-inch wheels. The seat has to be positioned super very close to the tire in front of it, so that the overall length of the bike won't get too long and become impractical. As you can see here, the distance between the tire and the seat is not that much. I even had to cut a notch on the metal plate to get a little bit more clearance. And now see how my fat ass affects that clearance. There is hardly any space for a fender. I don't actually weigh that much, although my ass looks fat in that picture. Here is why those springs compress so much. The seating position on a frame like this is not the same as it is on a regular bike. On a low rider like this, your legs are pointing towards the front, so they just can't support your weight. Because of that, the seat receives a much heavier load. So you need an extra soft seat and a suitable spring configuration. I used 3 springs from old bicycle seats. First I had 2 springs like on a regular bicycle seat, but with 2 springs I was bottoming out my seat suspension on every bump. Also using M6 bolts here would have given a little bit more clearance for the springs to compress. Then I needed to mount this whole structure at a certain angle and as close as possible to the rear wheel. So I had to create a mounting ground for them. I shaped a piece of angle iron to sit on the frame at a suitable angle. For the hinge, I used a small piece of a U-profile. And that's it. While riding this bike, I noticed something worth mentioning. Because of the seating position factor, all of my weight is concentrated on the back area of my ass. That puts a lot of stress on my bony ass. So if I make a seat like this in the future, I will definitely make it even softer. Subscribe to my channel to see my next video on this chopper e-bike. Check out my video in the description about making this power block. Ask me in the comments if you have any questions. Please like this video. Thanks for watching.